Hello and welcome back. This is Greg French. Today we're going to talk about cybersecurity concerning Windows. This is going to be just the basics of cybersecurity. I've been coaching a Cyber Patriot team, which is going on to a national competition. And we're finding in Windows there is a large number of vulnerabilities and things you need to be concerned about, especially if you're doing competition. But for the normal user, there's really just a few things we need to be concerned about. We'll be covering those. Let's get started. There's 6 things I'm going to be talking about. First is the auto updates for Windows that needs to be turned on. Need a good antivirus program besides what Windows offers. Firewall needs to be turned on. We're also going to talk about maybe a third-party firewall. Windows does a pretty decent job with their firewall, but there are some limitations to it. Passwords. It's really important to have strong passwords, and we'll talk about that. You also might want to log any failed attempts, and you might also want a lockout to help limit hacking on your computer. Again, the personal computer is something that has a lot of important personal information on it that can be used if it's hacked into to obtain access to accounts and things that you don't want people to have access to. So it's going to be important that you're using at least some of this. Again, strong passwords is pretty much essential now for accounts and computers. We'll talk more about that. Okay, auto updates. If you go into the control panel in Windows, you can get there just by the Start button. Click on Start button in the control panel. If you're set to categories, you'll find System and Security. Click on that, and you open up that. You'll have the Windows Update down here. Click on that. You come to this page, and you'll see that on this computer we have install updates automatically turned on, and it's updated at least every day. Now, Microsoft has a very vulnerable Windows system, and because of that, they're working very hard daily to try to correct vulnerabilities as they're found and provide you updates. If you're not updating your computer, you're not going to get the benefit of those, and Windows, again, being very vulnerable, it's not a very good operating system if you're not running the updates. So make sure your updates is turned on. Next is the antivirus program. Again, the Microsoft Defender or Essentials. Again, it's not the best security program, so I would use a third party. And there's a lot of good free third-party programs out there. So again, under Control Panel, you can click on the Security tab. You'll come up with this. Click on that, and you'll see that under Security, we've got the Firewall Turned On, Windows Updates, Virus Protection. Under Virus Protection, you can see I'm running AVG Antivirus, and it's the free edition. And the free edition is using the same search engine as the commercial engine. So I've found that this works very well for me. There's quite a few free antivirus programs out there that are all highly rated, and I would suggest you use Google to kind of do a review of those and see if you can find one that might work well for you. I would stay away from Kaspersky. Kaspersky is owned and run by a former KGB agent who is a friend of Putin's, and I would suggest you not use that, even though it's a highly rated antivirus program. I've heard that once it gets on your computer, it scans your computer and sends all information back to Moscow. It's a really good article written by Wired magazine that you might look at concerning Kaspersky. Firewall turned on. We need to make sure our firewall is turned on. You've got a setting over here to do it. Turn firewall on or off. Again, under the control panel, firewall. Here you've got another screen here where you can select your firewalls either on or off. I would make sure both for your home network, private, and the public, they're both turned on. Firewall will help to protect programs or viruses from connecting to your computer through different ports that it might try to use. Some shortcoming about Windows and its firewall, once you've been attacked and the virus is on your computer, Windows does not report to you that that little bugger now is trying to take your information and get it off your computer. There's a lot of good third-party firewall programs like Zone Alarm that stops even the outgoing information. And it would notify you immediately if you have an attack going on and it's trying to send some of that information home. So again, at least turn your firewall on, but I would also take a look at some of the third-party firewall programs. There's some really good ones out there. They become a little annoying because they're always alerting you of programs that are either trying to attach to your computer or take information and send it, but I like to be notified of that activity. Strong passwords. Now, this is a real important point to make. You need to have a strong password on your computer and on any accounts that you use. It's still pretty surprising a lot of people are not using strong passwords. And a strong password is going to be a password that's using upper and lower case letters, numbers, and also special characters. It's surprising, again, that some people are just using common names with maybe a couple of numbers attached to the end of that. It only takes the computer less than a minute to guess most of the passwords that are being used out there. A lot of people are still using common names that can be found in the dictionary. It takes the computer only seconds to search an entire dictionary and compare those words against your password. And again, there's still a large percentage of people out there that are not using strong passwords. Now, to set your computer up to get it to where it's requiring you to use a strong password, you can go into the administrator settings, local security policy, and under local security policy, you've got account policies. And under that, we've got password policy. And coming over here, you can see the password must meet complexity requirements. And these complexity requirements, again, are upper and lower case letters, numbers, and special characters. And Microsoft requires at least 6 for a strong password, but it's been determined that you need at least 8. So right above that, you're going to see a minimum password length, and we're going to set that to 8. So you want to go ahead and enable your password complexity requirements. Then you're going to want to head and go up to the one just above that minimum password length and set that to 8. So with 8 characters, it's going to take a computer, if you're using a strong password, up to 30 days, maybe shorter, maybe longer, in order to crack a strong password. And that's what you want. And then you should be changing those passwords periodically. So if a computer is trying to crack your password, by the time it does crack it, you've already changed it. This is really important for any banking or anything you're doing online. And it's also important for your home computer because your home computer, again, contains a lot of personal information that you don't want to get released. So you might consider that. Also, it's important that if there are failed logon attempts, that those be recorded, and you set a threshold for that. I usually set 5 if somebody's trying to hack into my computer and they've guessed 5 times and they've gotten 5 bad login failures, that would be a threshold that would lock them out for a period of time. Normally 30 minutes is what I would set for a lockout period. And what that does, that slows a hacker down, and it really slows any viruses down too. Viruses will do the same thing as a hacker, trying to guess your password. And a virus works pretty fast. It can make thousands of attempts in minutes. And if it just sits there and grinds on your password, it's eventually going to crack it. But if you lock it out after 5 failed attempts for 30 minutes, that virus is going to go somewhere else, or a hacker is going to give up too, because nobody's going to be sitting there for 30 minutes just with 5 failed attempts. So that's one way of protecting your computer. And I also use this on my websites, and I get notifications all the time that people are trying to hack into my websites, but after 5 failed attempts, they're locked out for 30 minutes, and usually that stops any of that hacking activity because nobody's going to wait around for 30 minutes to try 5 more failed attempts. So anything that's facing the internet, websites or computers, this can be real important. Also, you're going to want to, besides setting the 30 minutes for your threshold, you're going to also want to maybe do some logging of those failed attempts. People don't usually read logs, but there are software programs out there that can read them for you and notify you. Like I said on my websites, I have a little module set in there, so after 5 failed attempts, the computer is locked out, and also I'm notified by email that I have some failed attempts on one of my sites, and that helps me to kind of keep abreast of what's going on as far as any activity that's malicious on any of my sites, so that can be real helpful. Might also remember the Target was hacked into, and those people got in and were on their system for quite a while. Now, Target also had employed FireEye, which is a very expensive, very good program that a lot of commercial companies are using to help try to mitigate or stop these hacks. FireEye had made reports and logged that these people had actually broken into the system. But unfortunately, the security professionals that were running the Target's IT program there weren't reading the logs, so nobody knew that it had already been hacked and that information was being downloaded. Again, logging can be very helpful, but again, you need to be reading the logs in order to have that help you to know that you're either being hacked or you have been hacked. That's all for now. I'm going to probably set up another one for the Linux operating system. But thank you very much for your time. Hopefully that was helpful. Bye for now.